Geile Nummer, kann ich nur sagen. Also, ganz liebe Grüße an den Ü-Wagen, an alle Techniker. Und Toni, jetzt haben wir die Büchse der Pandora aufgemacht. Ja. Ja, jetzt hast du hier die Kollegin vom Fernsehen, jetzt hast du es heiß gemacht. Jetzt steht hier der nächste Kollege vom Hessischen Rundfunk, von der Hessenschau und sagt, ey, da will ich doch mal rein in die Höhle. Weißt du was, ich nehme mich einfach mal mit. Komm. Weißt du, ich laufe ja hier draußen mit dem Kölchen das ganze Wochenende. Jetzt erzähle ich es der ganzen Welt. Ich bin ja hier schon losgegangen. Und dann kann man mal hier reingehen. Kommt mal mit mir. So, pass auf, dass die Kamera nicht schlägt. So, wir tun jetzt so, als würden wir arbeiten. Ja, wir müssen ein bisschen Stimmung machen. Wir brauchen eure Fragen jetzt wieder.
Freund, welcome to Willingen. How is it going with you?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Here with the TV and watching everything closely and with keen interest.
What has changed since you retired?
Once again, please.
What has changed in ski jumping?
Yeah, the level has risen once more and everything has gotten closer together. Yeah, but in the end, it's ski jumping and the same things stay important, a good takeoff and a good flying position. But it's always interesting to see which guys can raise the level to a new point.
Who is your favorite today here in Willingen?
That's a tough question after the day yesterday and after the women's competition. Yeah, the wind will play its role. Yeah, in the end, Domen is jumping on a level where it's really, really hard to compete with him. But especially on a hill like this, I think there are a few guys that can challenge him. And yeah, I'm rooting for a German podium.
Thank you very much, Severin. Have fun. Thank you.
Yeah, Severin Freund, a winner twice here in 2011 and 2015. And you can see this massive crowd here. They can actually take 34,000 into this great arena. Over the years, Halvor Granerud of Norway has been the most successful with 4 victories here. Kamil Stock, 3 times a winner. Noriaki Kasai, 3 successes in his time. Ryoyo Kobayashi, twice a winner here. Andy Widhersel, head coach of the Austrian team, twice a winner here also in the year 2000. Jani Ahonen and Johan Andre Forfang, twice a winner here, and he's the hill record holder at 155.5 meters. Daniel Schöffenig, as I mentioned a moment ago, 2 victories here, the double. Andy Vellinger's also had 2 successes here. Sven Hannevald, 2 victories. Gregor Schlierenzauer, another man with 2 successes. And Marius Lindvig, a winner here also. So an awful lot of talent as we look forward now, just a couple of minutes away from the start. So there is the calculation line, the hill size, the record, 155.5 meters set by Johan Andre Forfang in February 2024. And this really is an amazing facility. We are just 7 days away from the start of the Winter Olympics. So for some, it's a case of fine-tuning. 1 or 2 absentees of note, in particular Jan Hurl of Austria and Stefan Embacher. Nothing sinister about it, just getting ready for the Olympic Games. But a lot of the big favorites are here, including, of course, Domen Preutz. The Slovenians winners by just 30 centimeters yesterday afternoon of the mixed team event ahead of Germany in really tricky, difficult conditions. Today, the wind, basically an updraft, pretty strong over the knoll, 2 to 3 meters, a little weaker further down the hill in the landing area, about 1.5 meters per second. But this will be quite a challenging afternoon again for Borek Sedlak. It's already been pretty challenging for the female athletes, but they put on a really great show. Irene Kwandal ahead of Nika Preutz and Nozomi Maruyama. Nika Preutz still well clear in the Women's World Cup, 1,876 points ahead of Maruyama, 1,370. And in the Women's World Cup, today was competition number 22 of the 33, so getting to a stage now where Nika Preutz is looking absolutely solid to win her 3rd consecutive overall Crystal Globe. Well, there's a great occasion, isn't it? A wonderful moment. Well, that's a beautiful picture. You can see how close everybody can get in the outrun. And these are the men who've qualified. Lucas Horgan there, just 19 years of age. World Cup debut, has the opportunity, of course, with no Jan Hurl and no Stefan Embacher to come in and take his opportunity for Austria. Quite a few yellow cards, as you can see, and Domen Preutz, wearing bib number 50, will be last to fly in this first of 2 competition rounds.
are about to start with today's competition. Unfortunately, I don't have such a good news because the wind is pretty unstable, sometimes 5-6 meters per second, coming from each direction, so we can expect a lot of breaks. I have to mention that we have one special occasion now, and we were the witness of such a nice situation that one of the four jumper, he made a proposal to his girlfriend, so I wish them good luck since both of them are my friends, and yeah, we will be ready to start in a few seconds, okay?
We're emotional moments, but now we need to focus on the competition. Please keep the short red pace and let's try to go through with this challenging condition.
Okay, Sandro.
Well, Boric said like they're wonderful, absolutely lovely. Will you? And of course the answer is yes. So the wind, a few gusts in the last moments, 5 meters per second, but really there's a fantastic buzz round here in Willingen. Sit back with myself, David Goldstrom, and the FIS team. Welcome to FIS TV. Welcome to Willingen, the last big World Cup competition before the Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina, just a week away before we go to those big hills in Predazzo. And there it is, gate number 10 in these strong front wind conditions. And the first man out wearing bib number 3, a youngster, 19 years of age, 12th in the Junior Worlds in Lake Placid last season, Lukas Horgan for Austria. A wonderful opportunity for him to show Andy Wenzel, the head coach, the potential that he has. We've already seen Stefan Embacher, 19 years of age when the World Cup season started, just 20 now, but already he's reached the podium of the Viessmann. So Lucas, a great tradition in the red and white of Austria, through the compression off the table on this big hill. Calculation line at 130 kilometers, 130 meters, I should say. And Lucas, in tricky conditions, short of 120. It really is an amazing atmosphere. Yevgen Marusiak really got the crowd excited here in qualification at 149 meters, only 6.5 meters short of the hill record. And here's the rather inconsistent Alexander Schnitzschel for the Polish team. 31 years of age now, Alex. Well, that's good enough to eclipse the young Austrian. Style marks will be modest. And he's short of the calculation line, 6-7 meters short, 123.5 meters. And of course, that's deductions, 1.8 points coming off each of those meters short of the calculation line. Only 91.7 points. So really subpar. Next man down, Sølve Strand for Norway, who's been most involved in Continental Cup so far this season. Just over 120 meters there for Sølve. Got a few points in Vikersund on the big ski flying hill there last season, which is actually his home hill. And this hill here in Willingen, the biggest of the largest hills in the world. Next man up will be the young French athlete, 22 years of age, Jules Chevet. He and his sister both involved in representing France. Jules. Very many stepping stones towards what he hopes will be his first World Cup point. But sadly, probably not today. Not even 110 meters there for Jules. The wind strength coming off the knoll at about 3.5 meters per second. And absolutely critical, the transition off the table here to bring the speed forward. 14 points, the deduction there. Really good to see this youngster, Enzo Milesi of France, another 22-year-old. Another youngster looking for that first elusive Winter World Cup point. Put the telemark on the end, but the distance is barely over 100 meters. Losing about 5-6 meters for front wind deduction. So bib number 10 to Remo Imhoff. His sister in action in the Intercontinental Cup earlier today in Lillehammer. The Swiss doing pretty well at that level. Some good youngsters coming through. Remo Imhoff, not where he was a couple of seasons ago when he had a top 20 finish in Lahti, but no top 30 finishes so far this season. Top 20 here in 2024. So a slightly subdued start to the competition at the moment, but things will bubble up, no doubt about that. The man leading, Alexander Schnitzschol, but not selected by the Polish for the Olympic Games. Here comes the junior world champion of 2023, Vilho Palasari for Finland. And they're really struggling, some of these youngsters. Vilho, just 21. One of several who've yet to make their mark in this season's World Cup, although wind the clock back a couple of seasons, he did score some good points in Zakopane. And from one Finn, we go to a next, and this time the much more experienced 31-year-old Jarkko Mata to follow. Jarkko, 11 years since his 2 top 10 results in Lahti and Oslo. That's a little more like it, and it's got a little bit of animation from the crowd over the calculation line into the bonus point area. And Jarkko Mata on something of a revival. And this is really encouraging for the Finns. Another absentee, by the way, is Antti Aalto, who has been picking up some good points. And keep an eye on him when it comes to the Olympic Games. And now, just 20 years of age, 7th in the Junior Worlds last season. 1 World Cup point in Sapporo for this youngster, Klemens Joniak of Poland. Well, unfortunately, the telemark wasn't there, so he's going to lose 3 points from each of the 5 judges. So that's 9 points, 5 meters lost immediately. Another man who's not here today, Kasper Tomasiak, the very, very talented 18-year-old Polish athlete who is qualified for the Olympic Games, will represent Poland there. and Andy Wellinger in picture. But here, keeping an eye on his young German teammate, Luca Roth. Luca graduating, or trying to, out of Continental Cup. A few points in Engelberg before Christmas. He showed up, what, some 5-6 seasons ago with a silver medal in the Junior Worlds in Lahti in 2019, but hasn't managed to make the transition in a consistent way into the senior group of World Cup athletes. But there are opportunities in the German team, and Luca needs to be on hand to take advantage. Switzerland, Kellyan Payer. Another two-footed landing, another expensive mistake. And Kellyan, all he's managed to gather in so far in the Winter World Cup are 4 World Cup points. Again, here's a man who, if you wind the clock back to 2019, was top 10 here. 2019, his most successful season, when he got a bronze medal in the World Championships. 22,000, absolutely packed. Tate France of the United States, yet to show us what he did show us last season, which included 3 10th place finishes, including one here. 10th in Willingen a year ago, only 3 points in the Winter World Cup to date. And this 20-year-old American is really talented, but he hasn't managed to find his rhythm, his shape, his position on the in-run. Coached by the Norwegian Tore Snell. That looks a little more promising, but it's still way short of where he needs to be to qualify for the final round. The wind a little quieter, only 4 meters deduction. This is a really good picture here to show the transition coming down. And Tate France selected to go to the Winter Olympics, and hopefully in the next few days he can find that elusive rhythm and shape and form. But at the moment he's a little crestfallen. Now 149 brilliant meters in qualification for Yevhen Marusiak, this 25-year-old Ukrainian. It's now a couple of seasons since he had his very best result, an 11th place finish in Vikersund on the big ski flying hills. So that shows you that he can deal with a big hill of this size. Here we go. The wind strengthening quite a lot now. If he can get this right, he could get a lot of meters here. And a roar from the crowd. They absolutely love it. Over 130 meters. The front wind deduction is significant. It's 22 points, so that knocks him back about 12 meters. But this is good enough, surely, and, well, it should lead. Also, have a look at the way that he finishes this off. He does put the telemark in, and the marks will reflect that. 17.5 from 4 of the 5 judges, 96.8. Goes to second place, 30 centimeters behind Jarko Mata. Hector Kapustik for Slovakia. What a day for the family. Hector Kapustik qualifying for today's competition. But what's really, really important is the fact that his sister came through to win the Intercontinental Cup earlier today in Lillehammer. Kira Kapustikova switching from Nordic Combined into women's ski jumping. and both of them on their way to Predazzo for the Milan Cortina Games. And here's a man who's hoping to find his form, Giovanni Bresadola. So far, no luck this season. Bresadola, 8th in Engelberg in December 2022. That's how long it is since he really posted a challenging result. $114.5 meters, and I hope for the sake of Giovanni and Alex Insam and also Francesco Ceccon that in the days and the opportunity to train and practice for the Olympic competitions that they can find some really good form to represent the host nation. Jarkko Matter of Finland leading, Alex Insam to challenge. Well, of the choice between Bresadola and Insam, just a little bit more positivity from Insam. 1.5 meters off the calculation line, but at least he's heading in the right direction. A couple of years since, well, in fact, almost 3 years since Alex got a top 10 in Brasnov on the normal hill. And now Clemens Eigner getting an opportunity to step out of Continental Cup, where he's been so prolific in victories, to represent Austria. Not bad from Clemens, who's in his early 30s. Pretty well the same distance there as Alex Insam. 128.5 meters, 17.5. The marks coming up from the majority of the judges. The judges today from Austria, United States, Norway, Estonia and Germany in boxes A, B, C, D and E. Christian Brendan, the technical delegate, the chairman of the jury, supported by Volkmar Hirsch, the chief of competition, Matt Lowe of the United States, the assistant TD, and now Simon Oman. Simi. It's not a hill where he's had a huge impact over the years. 7th in 2007 was the best I could find for him in the record here. 23 times an individual World Cup winner, but so far this season, 20th in Engelberg before Christmas, his highest finish. The quadruple Olympic champion from 2002 and 2010 in Salt Lake City and also Vancouver. Well, you could see that upper red line, and he was quite a few meters short of that. He won't get the telemark marks either. Over 120, but not really near the 130. And Simi would love to get to the Olympic Games, but not selected at the moment, in 5th place. And a huge cheer for Karl Geiger, winner here in 2019, runner-up in 2022, 15 times an individual winner. This looks a little more promising, and it is. And Karl Geiger has grafted, and the reward is coming. 140.5 meters. He has the huge respect of Stefan Horngacher, his head coach, who knows how hard he's been trying to recapture his form. The new leader. Lovely upper body position over the aerodynamic fissures. And finishes it off with a nice telemark, which should attract an 18. Piers Paget looking on. That's decent quality. New leader, Karl Geiger for Germany, to the delight of the home fans. Geiger, 14th in Sapporo, the best he's managed in any individual competition so far. This looks good. The man from Oberstdorf might be on his way back here. Next man up has a personal best on this hill. Kevin Bickner achieved it last year, 10th place. Here he is in the white of the USA. Tenth in Zakopane this season, early in January. Matched his personal best finishing position. It's not been an auspicious season for the Americans. Only, to be perfectly honest, young Colby is the man, Jason Colby, who's really flown the flag for them. And just to whet your appetite, Jason Colby, 144 meters in qualification. Schiffernig had 142.5. Doman Preus 138.5. Ryoyo Kobayashi 142. Yevhen Mamrusiaku, you've already seen 149. Felix Hoffman 136. And this is Rok Oblak for Slovenia. Very nice indeed. That's around 130 meters. In fact, it's exactly on the K point. 60 points now. What about the star marks? Didn't quite put the finishing touches here. So the distance is the plus, the landing is the minus. Although a correction, 1, 2, 3 marks of 17, better than I anticipated. Just a little widespread and a little lack of control, but it was there. And 100.7 points puts him up to second place behind Karl Geiger. Jarko Mata drops down to third. And now David Kubacki, not picked for the Olympics, really disappointing. This 35-year-old who's contributed so much over the years to Polish ski jumping. Never better than fifth here. And way short, and he's a very humble and honest guy. He said that he totally understood that he honestly hadn't earned the right to go to the Olympic Games. So Karl Geiger from Rok Oblak and Jarko Mata. And Geiger and Oblak are through to the final round. And the crescendo of noise is for Andy Vellinger. A little bit like Karl Geiger, a man who at his very best is very good. A winner here in 2024. And he's cleared 130 meters, not as far as Karl Geiger, maybe 3 or 4 meters beyond the K point, but that's bonus point territory. And this is really encouraging. Nicely done. The transition was good, it was strong, it was positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks of 18. And Germany find themselves 1 and 2 at the moment. Karl Geiger about 3 meters ahead of his own teammate, Andy Vellinger. Now watch out for the next man sliding out onto the bar. Benjamin Ersveld has shown up pretty well here in training. 25 years of age, 5th in Willingen on this very hill last year. His best ever result, top 10 in Zakopane earlier in January, 9th in the ski flying worlds, on an upward curve of form. And just the wrong side, a metre or two short of the calculation line. Almost the commentator's curse there to build him up, but he's a talented Norwegian. Johan Forfang, Marius Lindvig and Chris Sundal are the men who will lead the Norwegian charge into the Olympic Games. Østfold acknowledging his own mistake. Machekot. Well, it was in the season before the Olympics in 2017 that Maciej had his best results. And in the Olympic year, he was 8th here. Maciej, a little bit like Dawid Kubacki, not as successful as Dawid in terms of individual successes, but a great contribution to the Polish cause over many, many years. And another example of an athlete who's worked really hard but has had real problems adapting to his position on the in-run. And 115 meters, I'm afraid, will not be good enough to see him into the second round. Karl Geiger, Andy Wellinger, Rock Oblak, Jakob Mata, Christoph Eigner, all through to the final round. And next man up, I'd be really disappointed if Nico Kitosaho doesn't join the fun in the final 30. 8th in Ruka early on in the World Cup campaign. That's the best so far. Could do with a similar result this time. Very shallow trajectory and barely able to qualify. Now, this is just, as you can see, over 120 meters. Alexander Shisho from Poland had 123.5. Seaman Oman had that as well. But the small front wind deduction, 4.4 points, has given him a qualification place. Lucky boy. Fresh from winning a gold medal with the Japanese team in the Ski Flying World Championships in Oberstdorf is Tomofumi Naito. What a season this 32-year-old has had already. That's okay, he will definitely qualify. Got a 6th place finish in Klingenthal. It's not 130, as you can see, but it's going to be good enough in terms of distance and style points, and he goes into the top 5 ahead of Kitosaho. Karl Geiger still leading handsomely at the moment. Next up is Sato for Japan. Yukiya, 2 years younger than Tomofumi, 2 victories in his career, but 16th in Sapporo, his season's best so far, and not qualifying for the Olympic Games. Ren Nikaido, Ryoyo Kobayashi, Naoki Nakamura also missing Willingen to get ready for the Olympic Games. Naoki, who's based out of Slovenia these days. Front wind a little calmer. Well, Sato, really interesting. The wind changed quite a bit there. Relatively small front wind deduction, but 124 meters. The small front wind deduction has also saved him in terms of squeezing him into the top 30, but only 94 points. Just to put that in perspective, he's 14 meters behind Carl Geiger, and that, oh dear. Yevhen Marusiak disqualified through the permeability. In other words, too much air, too much buoyancy coming into the suit. I am so disappointed. Piotr Jewa. Well, he's been enjoying himself, Piotr. 39 years young now, of course. One really positive result that came on his home hill in Viessmann in December. Since then, to be honest, not much. And this is a hill where he has succeeded. Runner-up in 2021, third in 2018. And the strength of the wind has really dropped, but it's still overall pretty favorable. This was something that Piotr will really want to forget. But he did get caught out there. The wind just turning a little bit, some backwind towards the bottom of the hill, and the pressure evaporating, nothing to work with. And Jason Colby, well, let's hope he has a little better fortune here. 144 meters is what he showed us in qualification. Jason, the American #1, 7th in Engelberg, 9th in Innsbruck on the Bergisel. The wind stronger again. And that should see him into the final round. Over the calculation line, there is a significant deduction. About 7.5 meters to be deducted because of the strength of the front wind. But up into third place, Jason Colby. Behind Geiger, behind Wellinger. The top three separated by 10 meters, but that's better. Next up, Switzerland's, well, I was going to say #1, Gregor Deschwanden. And these are the men who've qualified at the moment. Alexander Schnitschol, 28 points behind, and that translates to 15-16 meters. I'm really disappointed for Marusiak. I'm curious as to know how that suit was illegal. Carl Geiger, the current leader. Have a look at this. The man from Oberstdorf, really rock steady and carried the speed forward really, really nicely. 88.5 kilometers, his in-run speed. Andy Wellinger, 89 kilometers, a little bit more. And his in-run speed just about the quickest so far. Gregor Deschwanden for Switzerland. Well, 3 10th place finishes doesn't really tell the story of this man who has 6 podiums and actually finished on the podium here in 2024. So Deschwanden could urgently need a confidence boost. Not to be. Peter Norcic, the head coach for the Swiss, scratching his head really a little bit here. The Swiss, who started the World Cup season with great spirit and a lot of hope, but it hasn't really translated in recent times. Sandro Hausfield and Felix Strunz, who are both booked to go to the Olympic Games, they have recorded their first ever Winter World Cup points, but Gregory Schwanden and Simon Aman have really struggled. And another cheer for Piers Paschke. Well, Carl Geiger and Andy Wellinger have raised their game. This is not a hill on which Piers has ever done anything special. 8th is his highest finish, and that is 5 years ago. Paschke. Already named as one of the athletes to represent Germany, along with Philipp Raimund, Felix Hoffmann, Andy Wellinger, all named for Germany in the Winter Olympic team for Germany. Severin Freund, the most successful German in terms of achievements on this hill over the years. The first ever hill was constructed here in 1951, and the big renovation came in 2000. And if you were with us right at the beginning, you heard Sandro Pertile say that this is a really special place. The atmosphere is amazing. Piers off the edge of the table there. Oh, that is tight. Well, he's not even got to 120 meters. 118. Small deduction for the front wind, but it's not going to save him. Another competition tomorrow, but really going into the Olympics, it would be really nice to get a solid competition performance. And Pierce's misfortune opens the door for Alex Insam of Italy to qualify. Paschke to be followed by Maxi Ortner of Austria. 2 podiums last year, and one of them right here on this hill. 7th so far in Sapporo, his best of the season so far. Maxi, who came in as a late replacement at the beginning of the last World Cup campaign, and really earned the support of Andy Wieshösel, the head coach. And the Austrians looking on, Kraft on the right, Schevenig, and they're all pretty keen here. Ortner hails from Villach. Not enough, I'm afraid. And this might well open the door for Benjamin Østfold of Norway, who had 128.5 meters. This is barely over 110. Piers Paschke 118, but Benjamin Østfold, I think, is going to find himself in the final round with the opportunity to try and make amends. Ortner, as you can see, down in 20th place, and Østfold does qualify. Now to the man who has had more success on this hill than anyone else. 4 victories in his career, the double in 2021, the double in 2023. Halvor Granerud missed the last Olympics through illness, and well, it would be really hard that if he doesn't get a place. He's not qualified at the moment for Norway. 29 years of age. Having won the overall World Cup, having won the 4 hills in his time. When he's good, he's extremely good. But we haven't seen the best of him this season. 7th in Klingenthal in both of the weekend competitions. In fact, 3 top 10s is all he's managed to muster, Granerud, and a change. And the reason for the change now is the wind going from gate 10 up to gate 12. Now, that means a greater in run, but it means a points deduction. The jury would have hoped not to have had to do this. Philipp Raimund and Felix Hoffmann, the 2 German stars, waiting their turn. But at the moment, Germany 1 and 2 on the leaderboard, ahead of America's Jason Colby. Rok Oblak of Slovenia in 4th place. Jakob Mata of Finland in 5th spot. 12 points, or I should say 12 meters, separating the top 5. But this is a big hill where lots of meters can be won, lots of meters can be lost. And the wind really is difficult now. This is impossible to let him go. No way would Granerud have a fair opportunity in these conditions. Green light is on. This is really, really difficult. Well, I'm surprised they released him, to be perfectly honest. Granerud goes out of the competition. Looked a little early in transition, but nonetheless, I have some feeling for him. I just think that that was really, really tough. Next up is Slovenia's Timmy Zajc. Well, if I wind the clock back to 2023, we had a heart-stopping moment here when Timmy Zajc, in front wind conditions, went to, listen to this, 161.5 meters. Timmy Zajc in difficult front wind conditions. The wind absolutely tricky at the moment, turning, and you need a little bit of luck here, something of a lottery at the moment. And Timmy Zajc, who, to be fair, has been in very modest form, down in 28th place. And the result of these failures are that Piers Paschke and Kevin Bickner have both qualified for the final round. Surprise, surprise. Jonas Schuster now for Austria. Front wind has strengthened, but still well short of 130 meters. Looking at 120, closer to that than 130. Quite a discrepancy in the skis as well, and this might and has allowed Sølve Strand of Norway to qualify. Marius Lindvig out on the bar. silver medalist just recently in the ski flying world championships. The Beijing Big Hill Olympic champion, looking to be on his way to that sort of winning form. Well, it's not going to lead, but he's probably, possibly done enough. This could be backwind compensation coming his way. Indeed, 4 meters. Well, when you take off the gate, nothing but 12th place for Marius Lindvig. That leaves him 17 meters off the lead. Foubert for France now. Valentin. 2 top 5 finishes so far in the World Cup, his best ever season. Well, Lindvig got away with it with 118.5 meters. This is not as far, and there's a front wind deduction. Luca Roth of Germany waiting in the wings with 120 meters. That's 4.5 meters further than Foubert. Foubert with a 3-point deduction, but you've also got to take off the gate points, 8.8. That's 11 points he loses, down to 23rd place. And Luca Roth of Germany into the final round with Gregor Deschwanden now waiting in the wings for Switzerland. The hill record holder at 155.5 meters, Johan Andre Forfang. Forfang, who has this season often flattered only to deceive. 6th place in Zakopane in Poland. His best result of the current campaign with 4 top 10s. Runner-up here in 2025 behind Daniel Schiffernig. Qualifies. Not 130, but well over 120. And in the circumstances, we'll make sure that he gets a place in the final round. We'll still have quite a lot to do, though. Outside the top 15, almost 20 meters off the lead. What can I do, says Johan. He's not a million miles off his very best form. And Forfang, one of the gold medal winners with the Norwegian team, of course, in the Winter Olympics of 2018 in Pyeongchang in the team event. Bib number 46 belongs to Vladimir Zagravsky, enjoying one of his better seasons, 3 top 10s, lying in 15th place in the Viessmann supported World Cup. Gate number 10, 8.8 points deduction for the higher gate. To that, you have to add any deduction for front wind. Yet to finish in the top 15 on this particular hill of Vladimir, who works closely with the German team. It's a really effective piece of cooperation between them. And I think this is the moment where the jury really need to take their time and be patient to make sure that we really do get fair and honest representation for these athletes. Karl Geiger, at the moment, still absolutely delighted in the lead, 140.5 meters, 6.5 meters ahead of Andy Wellinger. Jason Colby of the United States, 10 meters behind. And here goes Vlad. Handled that really, really well. Little correction during the flight. You could see that from the left arm. Over 120 meters. Life is not easy out there. 5.8 points worth of backwind compensation. Most of that wiped out by the gate deduction because of being lifted from gate 10 to gate 12. And there you can see 92.2 meters, 92.2 points for Zagrawski, but he does go into 9th place. But he's an awful long way off the lead. Chris Sundahl, another man who has achieved a podium here 2 seasons ago. Sundahl, good, competitive, really nicely done. That's one of the best executions we've seen off the table. The timing was good. Now, it's only 124 meters. However, in difficult backwind conditions, the backwind compensation will wipe out the gate deduction, and he should get an extra meter or so. And Sundahl is going to be in the top 5, in fact, in the top 3. Sundahl, almost 10 meters off the lead, but in 3rd place. Manuel Fettner on the podium in Poland, in Zakopane, his best result so far this season. And Fettner, another man who's podiumed here in Willingen. In his case, it was back in 2017. And this is remarkable. Front wind returned. The timing was exquisite. The power was very good. And this is way over 130 meters. Manuel Fettner, right up there, 2nd place, within 4 meters of Karl Geiger. Splits Geiger and Wellinger, knocks Sundahl down to 4th place. Fettner representing Austria, to be followed by Stefan Kraft. A hill where Stefan has yet to really make his mark. Twice 4th here. Well, that's over 130 meters. And it's very nicely finished. The front wind deduction, 13 points. The gate deduction, 8 points. Actually, 22 points. And that's a bit of a hit. It's about 12 meters coming off his distance. So it's a good effort, but it's a knockback and pushes him down into 7th place. 10, 11 meters off the lead. And now 2 German athletes, the top 2 of the season. 28-year-old Felix Hoffmann to go first. Philipp Raimund to follow. Good, 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 good. Felix Hoffmann, 9th in the World Cup standings, 11 top 10s, 4 podiums. And Germany really in good shape here. Again, you have to take into account the higher gaze and the front wind, which has strengthened. It's about a 20-point reduction, but he is competitive. The style is good, the spacing between the skis on the landing, the straight back. These are good points there. Stefan Horngacher, the head coach, 4th place. And Germany have got 3 men in the top 4. Geiger in 1st, Wellinger 3rd, Hoffmann 4th. And now to follow, Philipp Raimund. 12 top 10s. So far this season, including a 2nd place in Viessmann, his best of the season. 9th here in Willingen in 2023, his best ever finish on this hill. Six to go in this first round. Once again, patience required here as the wind becomes very mischievous. At the moment, the German crowd, the majority, of course, are from Germany, in a real festive party atmosphere. We talk about great crowds in Oberstdorf, in Innsbruck, in Garmisch, in Bischofshofen, but here it really is a party. The floodlights, the lasers, the music stage, and I can promise you it really goes on throughout the night. Starts on Friday and it doesn't finish till the early hours of Monday morning. Here we go. Philipp Raimund to try and join his colleagues right at the top of the table. 89 kilometers, in-run speed is good. Just over 130 meters by about a meter or so. No problem with the telemark, that was achieved. Similar deduction to Felix Hoffmann in terms of front wind and gate points, about 20 points to come off. So Hoffmann will be the higher placing, but Geiger in first place, Wellinger in third, Hoffmann in fourth place, and Philipp Raimund, well, it's not completely competitive, down in 11th place, 13-14 meters to find. A little grimace there from Philipp. And on his way, the man who won the qualification and both events here last year, Daniel Schäfernik for Austria. Over 130 meters, 142.5 in the qualification. This is not a bad effort here. Schäfernik knows it. The star marks will be decent here. Some of the best we've seen. Really nicely balanced there. The upper body beautifully placed, and the finish, that's got to be worth 18.5, and look at that. Fifth place. Schäfernik becomes the second Austrian in the top five. Manuel Fettner in second place. The top five separated by 8 meters. And so to Andrzej Lanasek for Slovenia. 3 victories already this season, 11 top 10s. Runner-up here in 2023, runner-up last season to Daniel Schäfernik in one of the 2 competitions here. Well, qualifies, but he's going to have a lot to do. The saving grace is only 7 points of front wind deduction. So Lanasek will be a little bit higher, but at the moment the Slovenian's not figuring. 19th place. 3 to go, 2 for Japan, and 1 for Slovenia, and Ren Nikaido having the time of his life. Ren Nikaido, bronze medal in the ski flying world championships just last weekend in Oberstdorf, a winner of the competition in Innsbruck, his first ever success in the World Cup, 13 top 10s, 10th here, not last season, but the season before. Ren Nikaido at the age of 24, at the height of his powers at the moment. A really key member of the Japanese team who I think will, or should be, very much favoured to medal at the Olympic Games. Lovely height, lovely flight. Look at this, Nikaido. And Japan are very much on the leaderboard now. That is the longest flight of the day, 145 meters. 19, 19, 19. 4 marks of 19. Explodes through the transition in the blink of an eye. And this is a man full of confidence at the moment. And his odds for medals at the Olympic Games is surely going to shorten. Goes into second place, just under 3 meters behind Karl Geiger. And from one great Japanese athlete to another, Ryo Kobayashi, twice victorious in 2022 on this hill. We've yet to see the very best of this man, but I just wonder whether he's saving his power for Predazzo. Olympic champion in Beijing on the normal hill. Well, by his high standards, that's modest. 128 meters, 20 points of deduction. He will qualify for the final round. But Ren Nikaido is the flag flyer. And so too the man who has commanded the World Cup, commanded the Ski Flying World Championships, commanded the 4 hills, the 26-year-old Slovenian, Domen Preuc. 9 successes already this season. Flying, flying, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Domen Preuc. Ren Nikaido eclipsed. 146.5 meters. 3 marks of 19. And slightly less front wind deduction than for Ren Nikaido. And Domen Preuc is going to lead at the halfway stage here. His young sister, Nika, had to settle for second place in the women's competition behind Irene Kvandal. But 146.5 meters will surely put this man into first place. And indeed, he goes into first place by 6.5 meters ahead of Karl Geiger, on course for his best of the season. Ren Nikaido in a podium position 3rd, Manuel Fettner in 4th place, the best for Austria. Andy Wellinger for Germany ahead of teammate Felix Hoffmann. Then Daniel Schöffenig, last season's double winner here, ahead of Chris Sundal of Norway. And then Jason Colby, the best for the United States, ahead of Rok Oblak of Slovenia. So a very difficult first round. And you can see here by the points differential, a real spread here. Luca Roth, the last man to qualify, in 30th place, some 30 meters off the lead. And the real disappointment, Yevhen Marusiak disqualified for the permeability of the suit that he was wearing being too great, allowing too much air and too much volume into the suit. I'm really mystified as to how that happened and really disappointed for him. Well, the final round, 16 minutes past the hour. So in about 13-14 minutes time we'll be underway, and there's the man sporting that great golden Viessmann bib, Domen Preuc, looking for a 10th success. And if he does succeed today, he'll be only the third Slovenian to win 10 World Cup events in a single season. Petar Preuc achieved 15 in 2015 and 2016, that season in which Petar Preuc won the overall World Cup. And Nika Preuc, who has achieved 15 victories in a season, and so far has 13 in the current campaign. And Doman, interestingly enough, has never reached the podium here in Willingen. 5th in 2024, his highest finish here. So a little pause whilst the boys get ready to take on the second round, the best 30 as ever, going in reverse order. We'll take a little pause here as they get ready. And as I said, 16 minutes past the hour, which is what, 11 minutes from now for the start of the final round.
Mehr über uns auf skideutschland.de.
Gibt auch schöneres Wetter, wo? Ich auch nicht. Vorweg, ja, und dann nach dem ersten Sehen einer und dann zwei.
Yeah, at this moment I'd say 12.
zoomed in. Just want to have a better view, so sometimes it might get a little bit shaky, so we adjust it.
So, hier wird das Podium. Start. Und wir haben eine Chance, einen Deutschen ganz oben auf dem Treppchen zu sehen. Springt euch warm, das werden wir auch mit dabei.
Ja, klar, der Gegner kommt natürlich live mit im Finale hier aus Willingen. Und wir wollen doch ein gutes Bild abgeben, oder? Willingen, könnt ihr das schön mal sehen? Den 25-jährigen Deutschen. Also das ist die erste Duftmarke, die im zweiten Durchgang hier in den Schnee gesetzt wird nach 120 Metern. Im ersten jetzt von Luca Roth 120. Und applaudiert ihm nochmal richtig zu, gibt ihm nochmal ordentlich Stimmung mit. Junge Deutsche, der hier nach Deutschland gegangen. Weiter geht's mit dasselbe gegen eben in die Spur, ist jetzt auch hier runtergekommen auf die Weite von 111,5 Meter. 111,5 Meters für Service. Jocko Rüstra aus Norwegen. Wir bleiben in Norwegen, haben dort jetzt oben am Start sitzen und der Rekordhalter. Mal so die Wundertüte aus Norwegen sehen wir jetzt gleich oben. Sehr, sehr erfolgreich gewesen schon in den letzten Jahren. Im Finale steht er jetzt am heutigen
It's going, it's working.
Unbedingt noch was drauflegen, um weiterhin nach vorne oder weiter nach vorne zu kommen auf den Plätzen. 150 Meter, das ist gerade die Seite angezeigt wird. Auch hier im Finale gehen wieder.
Ja.
Für Jörn André Vorfahrt aus Norwegen damit das Podium an die Spitze. Rang 1, New Current Leader für Jörn André Vorfahrt aus Norwegen. Weiter geht's oben am Start mit Kevin Gegner aus den USA, die Alpine Skiing. Ja, auf die Verhältnisse muss er sich erstmal einstellen. Da muss er gegen Steuern im Flug ein wenig am Ruder ziehen, am Ruder und auch an den Seitenrudern, um hier sicher runterzukommen. Der 29-jährige US-Amerikaner, der auf eine Weite gesprungen ist von 126 Meter. So, Freunde, jetzt geben wir wieder ein Gas. Wir stehen im Finale. Jetzt macht ihr mit, wenn ihr jetzt nicht mitmacht. Dann seid ihr zu spät, dann habt ihr den Absprung verpasst. Für uns steht jetzt Robert. Für das deutsche Team.
So the start of this round bubbling up nicely now, and Piers Paschke to come out of gate number 12. Johan Forfang, 134.5 meters, 10 meters better than the first round. The wind still very, very challenging. Kevin Bickner unable to make progress, and Piers Paschke only 1.5 points better than Forfang in the first flight. Less than a meter advantage and short of the calculation line. So once again, a very good afternoon. Welcome to FIS TV. At the early stages of this final round now here in Willingen in the Sauerland. Tomorrow's competition, the last World Cup event before the Winter Olympics at the end of the coming week, gets underway. Milan Cortina with the hills in Predazzo, center stage for the ski jumping competitions. Benjamin Østfold a little fortunate to qualify. Norway versus Norway at this moment, 134 meters the target. Well, 130-ish. I think he's just a little bit short. This is a much better effort than in the first flight. Coming out of gate number 12, the balance was better, symmetry of the skis was better, the aerodynamics and the style marks reflected as well. 17.5, 18. That's about a point better than in the first flight. And Norway, for the moment, first and second. Ryo Kobayashi, 6 times he's podiumed here, but it would be a miracle for him to get on the podium from this position. So dangerous. Well, 147 meters. Domen Preeltz 146.5 in the first flight. And suddenly Ryo Kobayashi just completely opens up this competition. And this is going to be the fascination. How far up the table will he rise? 217 points. 10, 11 meters ahead of that man, Forfang. And Ryo Kobayashi could be sitting in the current leader circle for quite a while. Alex Insam's going to have to go some. Only had 0.3 of an advantage over Kobayashi. And all too easily succumbs. Ryo Kobayashi from Forfang, Benjamin Østfold in third place, Piers Paschke in fourth. Next man on the hill is going to be Marius Lindvig for Norway. A lot of really big names going early. And the difference between Lindvig and Kobayashi at the halfway stage, only 0.6 of a point. That's less than half a meter's advantage. So the pressure is really on Lindvig. Ski flying silver medalists in the World Championships behind Domen Preeltz. Close to the podium in Zakopane. Seems to be coming back to something like his best. The wind a little quieter at the moment as it not enough. And Kobayashi's climb up the table. It starts as a mini march, but it could be quite a commanding one by the time we get to the top 10. Who's to say that Kobayashi isn't going to be in the top 10 from his starting position? Kobayashi in 24th place at the halfway stage. And next man to take on Kobe. Andrzej Lanasek, a lot of big names going early. And the difference between Kobayashi and Lanasek at the halfway stage, 0.7 of a point, exactly the same as Lindvik, less than half a meter's advantage. Kobe had some very strong wind, 18-point deduction for the front wind. That's like losing 10 meters effectively. Lanasek in his usual composed form. And he might be on this bar for a while. Sensible. The women's competition was challenging. The conditions were tricky there, but it was wonderful. Oh, they seem to have found another 125 spectators. So, Andrzej, 3 individual World Cup successes to take on Ryoyo Kobayashi. Good effort. Not enough to depose the Japanese star, but well into the 130s, over 135 meters in fact. And this will take second place away from Johan Andre Forfang and push Ersvald off the podium. It's actually a really good recovery. Andrzej Lanasek up into second place, still about 8 meters behind Kobe, but has pulled himself into a respectable point situation. And now Simon Aman. Well, could he possibly provide a surprise here? Not to be. He had a points advantage over Kobayashi. About 3 points his advantage, but he's going to tumble down the order. So Kobayashi from Lanasek, from Forfang, the 1, 2, 3 at the moment. And the next man is Alexander Schnitzschel. He's got about the same opportunity as Simon Aman. If I'm being generous, I'm saying 2 meters, but 145, 146 meters to take the lead. That's surely so far beyond his compass. And Kobe moving up all the time. Alexander Schnitzschel in 19th place at the halfway stage. And the next man, Clemens Eigner of Austria. 2 meters his advantage over Kobe. So again, the target there, 144 meters. Can he get to the calculation line at least? And he can. Clemens Eigner, really good flight. High 130s, nearly 140 meters. Really, really good, and this is going to put him up into second place ahead of Lanasek and Forfang off the podium. Clemens Eigner, so good at Continental Cup level, but finds a terrific flight here. Clemens Eigner gets to within 6 meters of Kobayashi. Clemens Eigner, who's Best result ever in World Cup competition, 6 in Bischofshofen in 2024, and now Zagrawski. He has exactly the same opportunity as Aigner. They had the same points at the halfway stage. Good effort, really good effort from Zagrawski. The wind stabilized, and this is going to score really well, or it should do. The star marks, they could be as high as 19. Vladimir Zagrawski, 1:40, 18.5, 18.5, a 19, a 15.5, which is ridiculous. And a big front wind deduction, 18 points like Kobayashi. That's the setback, but the performance is worth a really big pat on the back. Zagrawski has taken the lead. Just trying to work that out, 146 meters, only a meter short. And this is Kito Saho. And he's high into the 130s. Zagrawski, just to finish that off, 146 meters, just a meter short of Kobayashi. 2 meters advantage from the first round, and he's gone into the lead by 10 centimeters. 140.5 meters for Nico Kito-Saho. And suddenly the quality, the high standard has returned. And one of the reasons it's returned is the wind is a little bit more manageable at around 2.5 meters per second. It's not entirely stable, but it's a lot more manageable. Yukiya Sato now. And he gets to the calculation line as well. Not enough to depose Zagrawski, though. So Vladimir Zagrawski yet to reach a World Cup podium, hoping to climb up the table at least to get into the top 10. Sato goes into third, pushes Kito-Saho down to fourth place. And now Philipp Raimund from quite a long way back. And look at the target, over 140 meters here for Philipp. Not impossible. Good height, good flight over the knoll, but came down pretty quickly at about 132 meters. Not his particular day. Less front wind deduction will mitigate a little bit. But when you consider the distances, Sato 135 meters, Nico Kito-Sato 140.5, Ryoyo Kobayashi 147, still in second place in a podium position, Ryoyo Kobayashi. Bulgaria leading from Japan in second and third places. Philipp Raimund to be followed by Tomofumi Naito for Japan, 13 to go. Naito taking on Zagrawski. 4 points, the difference in his favor. 2 meters, 3.6 points would be 2 meters. It's a little bit more than that. But you can see in the prevailing conditions, the computer asking for 148, 149 meters. Well, that's a really tough call. This man who has really deserved the confidence and support of Kento Sakawama, the head coach for Japan. pretty good. Pretty good. And this man should be in the Olympics with Nakaido, with Kobayashi, with Nakamura. And it's a heck of a good quartet. 140 meters. That's 6 meters short of Zagravsky, and he didn't have that in hand, but it's pretty respectable. So far ahead of Kobayashi at the halfway stage, but believe it or not, Kobayashi's going to stay ahead. Not by much. Zagravsky 10 centimeters ahead of Kobayashi. Naito into third place, 1.5 meters behind. Saito in fourth place. 3 Japanese in the top 4 now. Mata for Finland. Opportunity lost there to get a season's best.
Nicht so gut abgeschlossen jetzt hier im Finale. Der 31-jährige Finne, der schon viele Jahre hier in Willingen mit dabei ist und noch war 119 Meter 19 meters.
Jaakko Mata. Well, they're going to be modest points, but at least they are his first World Cup points of the season. And stand by for Stefan Kraft. Stefan Kraft to go after Zagravsky. 3, let's call it 4 meters, his advantage from the first round. This needs to be really stellar. And it's encouraging. Kraft frustrated because he knows that it's not enough and it's not quite right. The Stefan Kraft's big ambition is to get the Big Hill gold medal at Predazzo. That's a really important target for him. It's something he's yet to achieve. It's fair, but it's not fantastic, and it needed to be fantastic. Top 6. Zagravsky continues to climb. 9 to come. Zagravsky next to be challenged by Rok Oblak of Slovenia. And Rok actually in 10th place, I should say, at the halfway stage. And this is going to be fascinating for Rok because he's got a real chance to achieve a personal best, his highest placing, 17th, or 19th, I should say, in Sapporo. But this is Vladimir Zagravsky. 4th in Zakopane, the closest he's ever come in a long career to a World Cup podium. So Rok Oblak to follow by 19-year-old Jason Colby. 2 men looking for personal best. Chris Sundal on the podium here 2 seasons ago. Daniel Schoefernick, who won both events here 12 months ago. Felix Hoffmann flying for Germany along with Andy Wellinger. A real renaissance for the Germans. Manuel Fettner, 3rd in Zakopane, but close to the podium again. Ren Nakaido, surely he's going to podium. Karl Geiger, a renaissance. And Domen Preutz looking for his 10th success of the season. So here we go. Gate 12. Rok Oblak, 24 years of age. 2 points here in the World Cup last year, but a real chance to get a whole bundle more. And going after Vladimir Zagravsky. And the difference between Rok and Zagravsky, well, call it 8 points, call it 4 meters. There you can see just under 140 meters the target. It's a pretty tall call. on his way, fingers crossed, to a new personal best. Wrong side, or just the right side, I should say, of the calculation line. Zagravsky moves up a slot, 132.5 meters, 9 to come. Oblak into 8th place, can't be worse than 17th, so it will be a new personal best. Next man, Jason Colby for the USA. Colby, 7th in Engelberg, that's his highest ever finish. Similar target to the Slovenian and similar distance. 131.5 meters in the first round, 131 this time. But a better execution. Star marks coming up here about half a point better than in the first flight. Controlled that much better. And Jason Colby into 11th place. 8 to come, so he's going to be top 20 whatever happens. And now Chris Sundal on the podium here in 2024. His advantage over Zagravsky. 9 points, 5 meters, 5 very important meters for Chris Sundal. 4 top 10s, a 5th place in Klingenthal, his best of the campaign so far. Norway yet to put a man on a World Cup podium this season. Sundal really stretching out for this. The style is okay. The distance is good. And this really challenges for the lead here. 6 meters down on Zagravsky in terms of distance, but he had an advantage of 5 meters. The front wind deduction is 6 points less. I think he's there. Sundal for Norway to take the advantage, to push Zagravsky down to 2nd and Kobayashi to 3rd. Daniel Schoefernik. The difference between him and Sundal at the halfway stage, barely a meter in his favor. The double last year, but no success this time. Won the qualification earlier today. Another chance tomorrow. But 133.5 meters, he's going to drop back. And then there were 5. 3 for Germany, 1 for Austria, 1 for Japan. Next man up is Felix Hoffmann. The important factor here is he's about 15 meters behind Domen Preutz at the halfway stage. And the noise is amazing. There's the target, 144 meters to get into the lead ahead of Chris Sundal of Norway. Fantastic effort. He had not quite 2 meters advantage over Sundal at the halfway stage, and he's done it comprehensively, 144.5 meters, and the fans rejoice. Germany take the advantage. Terrific explosion and recovery into the flight phase. Very, very quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks of 19. Thoroughly deserved. And Hoffmann takes a 7-meter advantage. Sundal drops to second, Zagrawski to third. And now Germany versus Germany. Andy Wellinger, the winner here in 2024. He has an advantage of, well, not even 2 meters, call it 1.5 meters. This would be some recovery for Andy Wellinger. In-run speed is very good. The meters are respectable, but the distance is insufficient. Felix Hoffmann prevails. Of course, Wellinger has an advantage over the likes of Zagrawski of about 16 points. Now, that is significant. Good enough, I think, to put him into second place overall. Sundal will drop to third, and Zagrawski will be off the podium. Three to go. One for Austria, one for Japan, one for Germany. Manuel Fettner, at the age of 40, still bidding for that elusive first ever World Cup victory. Could today be the day that he makes that dream come true? Well over 140 meters needed. It's good, but I'm not sure it's enough. Similar to Andy Wellinger's distance, 1 meter short. Nothing bad about this, it's just not there. And Zakopane and third place will remain his best of the season. Fettner looking to see whether he could knock Sundal down to third place. In fact, Fettner's got into second place ahead of Wellinger. He had an advantage over Wellinger of almost a couple of points, and that's made the difference. Germany, Austria, Germany, and Ren Nikaido, who could blow this competition apart. Have a look at this from Nikaido. Is this victory number 2, I wonder? 147 meters. Well, you have to put into context the fact that Nikaido $114 points at the halfway stage compared to the 131 of Domen Preuts. So we need to temper our enthusiasm here. But this man is the new leader. No question about that, surely. Ren Nikaido by 3.5 meters takes the lead away from Hoffmann. Fettner drops to third. Nikaido, with 2 to go, knows that he's back on the podium. Karl Geiger of Germany. One of the toughest seasons of his life, but a moment, an opportunity for Karl Geiger here. Geiger 3 meters ahead of Nikaido at the halfway stage. And he's put 2 together. Karl Geiger of Oberstdorf, twice over 140 meters. Nikaido 147 meters. This is worth about 145. And Karl Geiger is back. Yeah! 19s across the board, and that's what it means. It's been such a tough journey. from November through December, January, on the edge of February, and Karl Geiger has found his form. On the podium with only one man to come, and Karl Geiger back on a World Cup podium. 15 times he's won, 13 times he's been a runner-up, 13 times he's been third. The winner here in 2019, the runner-up in 2022. Nikaido, Geiger, Hoffmann. And that's what it means, but it's not over yet, because we await the flight of Domen Preutz, bidding for his 10th victory of the season. And Domen Preutz with an advantage over Karl Geiger, some 16 points. It's a really significant advantage. Something like 8-9 meters, and there you can see the target, 126 meters. So Domen Preutz bidding to win in Willingen for the first time in his career, never better than 5th before here. Bidding for a 10th victory, to become only the 3rd Slovenian to achieve 10 World Cup victories in a season, to follow in the footsteps of his brother Petar Preutz, who achieved that in 2016. Here we go, over 134 meters. And Domen Preutz, unbelievable, unbelievable. Two-footed landing, but frankly, who cares? Over 150 meters, 155, knocks on the door of the hill record, misses it by half a meter. And Domen Preutz continues his march towards the crystal globe. Ren Nikaido will have to be settled and satisfied for 2nd. Karl Geiger will be happy to be 3rd. Felix Hoffmann will be frustrated to be 4th. Manuel Fettner will, in a way, be satisfied to finish in the top 5. Andy Vellinger will be encouraged with a 6th place finish. Chris Sundal, the best for Norway, in 7th place. Vlad Zagrasti for Bulgaria in 8th, ahead of Ryoyo Kobayashi, who's moved up for 24th into 9th. And Daniel Schevening, last year's winner, here will finish in 10th place. Domen Preutz, victory number 10 in the Viessmann World Cup of ski jumping. The margin of victory, 12 meters. And universal recognition of one of the great sportsmen in the world of ski jumping. Well, I thought Ren Nikaido was good. Karl Geiger was excellent. But Domen Preutz is just in a league of his own. Well, this is a day where I'd really like to hear Horst Nugin talk to all of the first 3. We'll certainly get some words from Domen Preutz, but it would be really nice to hear from Ren Nikaido and also from Karl Geiger. So Domen Preutz has done what his sister was unable to do earlier today, although she'll have another chance tomorrow, Nika Preutz. And there you can see 264.2 points, well ahead of Ren Nikaido. Let's have a little further look down there. Ryoyo Kobayashi up from 24th to 9th. And as we go to the next page there, Naito, a respectable 11th place ahead of Sato. Nico Kitasaho in the top 15. Rock Oblak, a personal best. And Solveig Strand getting that one World Cup point for finishing in 30th place. Well, this is going to be played and played and played. Amazing flying skills here from Domen Preutz. And just keeping his hands, his bottom off the snow. Although the style marks, 13, 14s, they are very honest assessments by the judges. When you get 13, 14, of course, you've sacrificed something like 9 points, about 5 meters, but when you've flown 155, no matter. Of course, Nilgin there in the gateway, waiting for the presentation to start. This is the unofficial presentation of the top 3 prior to their equipment being checked out. And Germany will be much happier with Geiger and Hoffmann in the top 5, Wellinger in the top 10. And that's what it means when you've been an athlete in the darkness, in the gloom for so many weeks and months, to emerge. Ren Nagaido with congratulations, and Domen Preutz. Well, no disrespect to the other athletes, but it's a little like Premiership and Championship.
Und Willingen nochmal einen Riesenapplaus für die 3 Besten des heutigen Tages. Ganz oben auf dem Treppchen steht der Champion von Willingen 2026. Domen Preutz aus Slowenien. Riesenapplaus. Auf Rang 2.
And these boys really do appreciate these fans. What a party it's going to be tonight. Well, he doesn't come from Willingen, he comes from Oberstdorf, but on this particular moment, on this stage, they've adopted him. Now off they go to Matthias Haferle for the equipment and clothing checks. And momentarily, I'm sure we'll get a few words with Domen Preutz. Well, I said it at the Ski Flying World Championships. We're right at the end of January.
Congratulations, Domen Preutz. Thank you for the show. Did you enjoy as we did watching you?
Of course, it's always fun here in Willingen, and also this year when we came here, it seems like a good forecast, but somehow Willingen have its magic, and it's always tricky to have competition here. But yeah, I'm super happy that we had two rounds today. I had quite good conditions, I think, especially the second round. I really enjoyed just getting over the knoll, just getting all the height, and at one moment I was just like, yeah, just take care to land carefully. Yeah, because Olympics are coming, and of course I want to be healthy there and stay fit. But on the other hand, I really enjoy jumping here, feeling the pressure on under my skis, and these are the things we live for.
Thank you very much, Tom, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Well, I'm absolutely delighted for Karl Geiger. It's a really difficult situation. Many ski jumpers over the years have faced that situation. It's not unique to ski jumping. It happens in a lot of sports. But in ski jumping, the lights can go out like the flick of a switch, but the form can come back as well. But you have to work, and this man has drafted. He has really, really worked. And as I mentioned on a couple of occasions, Stefan Hornbacher, the head coach for the German team, has been really appreciative of the efforts made by Karl Geiger, and the reward has come today. Ren Nikaido continuing his consistency, the ski flying world bronze medalist, showing that the form that he has delivered this season is consistent. There's no fluke, and this man has to be on your shortlist for Olympic medals. Domen Preutz, well, how many superlatives can we muster? Look at the power, look at the quickness, look at the height, look at the flight. The balance is absolutely superb. And this is really flying like a bird through the late afternoon sky, touching down and then having the strength to keep himself off the snow. Maybe his bottom did touch the snow, and maybe that's a justification for 13 out of 20. I wouldn't argue with the style judges one bit. I think they got that absolutely right. And Domen Preutz into the arms of his excited teammates, Andrzej Lanasek and Rok Oblak and Timmy Zeitz. So over 500 points clear in the World Cup standings. That's over 5 competitions ahead. He's getting ever closer. Of course, the Olympics are next, and then when we come back, we have competitions in Kulm and in Oslo and Vikersund and Planica. Austria still leading in the Nations Cup ahead of Slovenia and Japan. Germany in 4th place, Norway 5th ahead of Finland and then Switzerland. What I really enjoy about Domen also is his absolute clarity and his honesty. He talked about the fact that he had pretty fair conditions in the second flight, no excuses, every opportunity, and have a look at where he's landing. The hill starts to flatten out. That is really difficult to hold that together, and that also underlines the fitness of this man. And I don't think he did actually touch the snow. Avoided it. Really, really strong, clever athlete, and Domen Preutz really ruling the world. And he's going to go to the Olympic Games as one of the strongest favorites in any of the sports to win a gold medal. So just a reminder, after the Olympics, Kulm for ski flying, then Lahti, Oslo, Vikersund and Planica. Planica, where the women will be flying for the first time. So a lot to look forward to. So now just a question of waiting for the checks. Just a reminder, of course, that we have a women's competition and a men's competition tomorrow. Nina Lucy will have her eye on the women to see whether Nika Preutz can get that elusive victory here, or whether Irene Kvandal will do the weekend double. And just a reminder also on FIS TV, we've got Continental Cup action from Lillehammer in the morning and the afternoon as well. So plenty to look forward to on FIS TV. Nordic Combined, of course, underway with the famous Seefeld treble. And Germany having success there today. Vincent Geiger denying Johannes Lamperter, the World Cup leader, and Jens Luras Øftebø of Norway. And in the women's competition, Ida Horgan, no surprise there, but another very good finish by the American Alexa Brabich, ahead of Natalie Ambruster of Germany, the 1-2-3. Now, if you're wondering why it takes the time that it does, well, Matthias Haffele and his team have got to check the suit, the goggles, the gloves, the boots, the bindings, the skis, to be absolutely sure that all the regulations have been adhered to, and that the first three men on the podium are there for all the right reasons. I'm sure they're going to be fine. We're now well into the season and the routine. And it really underlines the fact that this is a team effort with the servicemen and coaches. It's quite an effort to make sure that when the athlete actually participates, everything is correct. Well, there we can see Ren Nikaido, so clearly they're satisfied that he's okay. 25, Carl Geiger, also in evidence. So just the final checks on Domen Preutz, and then we should be ready for the presentation. I think there are a lot of people here who are really delighted with the recovery of Carl Geiger. It's been a very hard winter for him so far. Well, we should be almost there now. There's always a little bit of a delay because we have to allow time for the likes of Domen Preutz to talk to his fans back in Slovenia. And just a reminder that the men's competition tomorrow, first round at 4 o'clock Central European time. 10 minutes or so before to just set the scene. And I hope that what you've seen today has really whetted your appetite and you can spare us and join us for tomorrow, Sunday, for the final World Cup competitions before the Winter Olympics. It's a real special occasion, the last competition before the Olympics. Everybody will be hoping to get a good competition, win or lose, but to get a real confidence boost to take to Italy. And much excitement for Ren Nakaido's success. So Domen Preelt's emerging. So I've now seen all three, so it suggests to me that everything is okay as he goes back to Robert Hagota and the rest of the Slovenian coaching and service team. And Horst Nilgin saying, no, come on, we have to get this going. So Sandro Patile leading out the achievers. Karl Geiger, Ren Nakaido and Domen Preelts to take their places on the podium.
Und heute auf dem dritten Platz mit 237,8 Punkten für Deutschland, Karl Geiger!
32 years of age from Oberstdorf. Finally, the lights have come on. He's back on the podium for a season's best third place. Ren Nakaido, sixth podium. The ski flying bronze medalists, the winner Innsbruck, and Domen Preelts, the first time success for him in Willingen, his 10th of the season, and marching on towards the Crystal Globe. Well, we saw yesterday in the mixed team competition, they have some really nice mementos here in Willingen. This is a big occasion for Willingen. It's the biggest occasion for this part of the world. Some 7,000 people live here year-round, but when it comes to this competition, you can add another 25,000 people who come into the Sauerland. First trophy of the campaign.
Und zu Ehren des Siegers, to honor the winner of today, hören wir jetzt die Nationalhymne.
And so, yet again, to recognize the fantastic achievements of Domen Preelts, the national anthem of his country, Slovenia. Well, a great day for Durban Prez. Actually, a great day for the Geigers because Viessmann's Geiger winning in Nordic Combined competition in Seefeld. Carl Geiger back on the podium here. Cousins, actually, the two of them. So a really nice day for them. And Ren Nikaido, big beaming smile. And the boys really enjoying. We've had some fantastic crowds. And Willingen has really played its part. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the action. From myself, David Gulstrom, and the team, thank you again for joining us on FIS TV. We'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We'll leave you with some lovely smiling pictures of these fantastic athletes. And do join us tomorrow for both the women's and the men's competition. And if you can, those Continental Cup events on FIS TV from Lillehammer. So for the moment, farewell from Willingen. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
So, über den Fototermin freut er sich mit Sicherheit.